years, and I was struggling. What I want, but it wasn't really Alright, so then put her, let's stay there. What do you want to cross? Yeah, if that works, it's the best. Yeah. Whatever, is it that or is it that? It's not responding to this either.
I hate that keyboard, so I don't
So yeah, it's
know.
just that,
I have no idea what that,
what it wants to do.
okay, let's see, drum roll please. Nope. No. This isn't working either. What were you pressing before? Just these?
Yeah. That works. I want to thank you. Hello, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you? I wish I could do this class, but we've got that thing coming tonight, Jessica.
Technical difficulties.
I'm trying to meet people online. Hey, I'm Lori.
I'm Caitlin.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Nice to meet you too.
Who are you with? Refined Design.
Oh, Refined Design. Awesome. I love this. You've got the animal.
Oh, yeah.
We make marketing painless.
Yeah. You are welcome to take one of those.
I wanna take one
I was
of
gonna say, we create those, as mailers
Cute.
for agents, and then we kind of show you how you can utilize them, so.
I have this exact same thing.
I love it.
That's so cute. Yeah, I've seen y'all stuff. We work with a company right now. Used to say we want to do something. Yeah.
We would love to talk to you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hey, Dan. That's off the phone now. Hi, how are you?
It's been, hard. It's been really hard, especially since he was killed. It's just been, well, and it's a Black Widow situation. She had two previous boyfriends. Smith. Well, and I lovingly called her side of country, so, that's what I've called her after a while. And I knew that she was trouble because, you know, my son was an Arabic comedy, but I love him.
Yeah.
He was beautiful.
He was.
It's too beautiful. I've told people, I wish he was out there. I think life would have been different.
Yeah.
And he went out there in 2020, February 2020. He came home in September and sat on my back porch and looked at me and said, Mom, I'm not good looking. I could get another woman if I wanted one.
And you were like, but you're not.
Yeah.
Who told you that?
Yeah, and he goes, and I have no skill, no talent, nothing to offer anybody, I'm worthless. And I looked at him and I went, who the hell broke my son? I mean, because I wouldn't have minded him being, which actually hindsight, since I've been out there, I realized that he did.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
He was, the Michael,
Hey, Carrie.
apparently he was in the top 10 in the nation for tattoos. Talent, I did not realize he was that high up on it. I mean, I knew he was that.
Thank you so
You know,
much.
he's been on all the TV shows and all that. I knew, so I knew
Yay.
that, right? But I didn't realize how hot they were. But he had, anybody that did like a tribute tattoo, like a tattoo he did them for free. And come to find out, a half sleeve from my son, like if you did one of the half sleeves, was $20,000 to $25,000. I did not know that. I don't have a tattoo. I can look at his work and go, it's amazing. Yeah, so yeah, well, it's programming. I mean, in fact, I talked to somebody today that does hypnotism, is a hypnotist. She said, that's exactly what, because I told her what was going on. Michael started acting, okay, like he'd come home and say, I'm not going back out there, I'm done, whatever. And as long as he didn't talk to her, he was fine. When he got on the phone with her, in 2 minutes, the way he walked, the way he talked, his entire demeanor changed. But the way that it did it, it reminded me of like the hypnotist that used to say, okay, you know, you're gonna say chicken.
Fall asleep. and
Yeah.
people would just-
Or chicken, cluck, cluck, cluck. That's exactly what it reminded me of. Exactly what it reminded me of. And going out there and talking to like his neighbor, she said, oh yeah, I saw that all the time. She goes, his pupils would dilate. Well, I had never seen the pupils dilate because he wasn't looking at me when I saw it happen, right? You know, because he knew how much I loved her. Not. And, now it's a couple more minutes. Okay, sorry. So it's just been so much, and just so much.
His
And,
son's with you. Son is with you now.
with his mom down in Covington,
Oh, good.
Cole is in Covington. He just turned 17 last week. Yeah. Thank you. So I just want her in jail. Here's the thing, if I didn't think that she would do it again, I wouldn't worry. Karma will get her, right? My concern is,
So she visited with you.
no, so they called me originally, said he hung himself. Or that he committed suicide, and I was like, but then that was on Sunday, then on Wednesday, they said, yeah, he hung himself on the master bedroom door. And I immediately said, no, he didn't do that. And besides the fact that I know where his mind was, I used to pick on him, or joke with him, that his mom didn't have good babies. You can see where to knock his head over. He lived in a 1950s trailer.
See.
He lived in a 1950s trailer that was still renovated and with its like art deco thingy. He was a tattoo artist, you know, crap. But it's a trailer. That's where the doors, 86 feet tall. Like, because he used to walk through it, and I used to laugh. Because you could barely, you know, I mean, no. And it is, I actually went after he
So
died.
you knew that was a lie.
Yeah, the second they told me that, I said, no, that didn't happen. It's how does a 5'9" guy, 5'10", 5'9", hang himself in 6 foot tall? Can't. I mean, even if
Your
it's-
body's gonna say.
Yeah, well, even if you're naked, even the door frame. Right? And so, yeah. But here's the thing, I had talked to him on Wednesday, he was talking about coming down for Christmas. Friday, he bought tickets to a rock concert with a friend for the following weekend. He bought his plane ticket home. he had, on Saturday, he bought 2 snowboarding passes for Virginia, so 2 different friends. He had over $8,000 of tattoo work on the books for the following weekend, and it just signed to go back on the masters. They were supposed to start doing masters in February this year. So this is not a kid, or yes, they was that. But he was,
We are gonna get started in just 1 second. Just a couple more minutes, but it might just be me and you.
that's funny. That's funny. And I just.
Hello, guys who have joined. Like I said, I'm gonna get people here in person just another minute or two, but, if not, we'll get started in a second. And I will try to keep an eye on the chat. If you guys have any questions throughout the class, you can put on the chat and I will try to keep an eye on that. And at the end, I have built in some time for questions as well, so no worries there. If I can put this up, just, I don't want to walk through here. All right. All right, guys, let's see what time it is. Well, we are gonna go ahead and get started. So welcome, thanks you guys for coming. My name is Kaylin Perkins, and I am with Refine Design Group. We are a marketing agency that is focused on real estate agents and their unique needs. We specialize in social media management, 36 touch plans, newsletters, logos, and listing materials. So pretty much anything that you guys have a need for, we can help you with. And today we are going to be talking about social media and overcoming social media anxieties. And actually, just give me 1 second, actually, let me close these doors. Not to disrupt everyone else. Sorry about that. So we are Refine Design Group, and today we're going to be talking about overcoming social media anxieties and some of the hangups that we get before posting and what gets in our way from really using social media to its full advantage. So what are we afraid of? There's a lot of things. I'm not going to ask you guys to say in the chat, but I have kind of the most common things that we hear that people are worried about when posting or just interacting at all on social media. And the big ones are, what if I share too much? What if I look silly? What if I don't know what I'm doing? Those are kind of the same things. What if I don't have anything to say? What if no one likes me? And where do I start? And so the first 4 are I'm gonna go through kind of some mindset shifts. And then where do I start? I'm gonna give you guys some actionable items that you can use that are tangible to actually get started and to overcome that fear. But a lot of it is mindset and kind of how we think about social media and how we think about ourselves. So first up, what if I share too much? This one I get, a lot of us, we want to show up on social media, but we don't necessarily want to tell everyone every little detail of our lives. We don't want to We don't want people looking in too closely. And for this one of the main things that I remind our clients of, is that you can share your personality without sharing personal details. And you can have boundaries set up so that you can have boundaries that you set up ahead of time that of things that you will not talk about, things that you won't necessarily post about. And if you kind of go through those in your mind or even write them down, it can help you say, oh, these are the things that I'm going to keep private, and you can still feel comfortable showing who you are. You can still use your voice when you're in videos. You can still use your voice when you're typing and your comments and that kind of thing. The biggest thing is just to show that you're a person and to let people see your personality. Again, that doesn't mean you have to share personal details. And you know, you can have certain boundaries. I personally, I don't care about my kids necessarily on social media, on the business side of it. And that's perfectly fine. When people talk about being authentic and showing up on social media, a lot of my clients think that that means that you have to share everything about your life, where you are and what you're doing. And that's not necessarily true. You can share just little snippets of your day. You can share snippets of your job. It doesn't necessarily have to be about personally what's going on with you. People just kind of want to know you, not the minutiae details of your life. Because I feel like when you go on social media, you want to know the in and out of everyone's day. You want to just kind of see what they're up to, see the surface level, good parts of who they are. And one thing that I kind of always keep in mind when I'm doing someone's walking by, they're like, she's talking to an empty room. So one thing that I try to keep in mind is, obviously your personal page is one thing, but if you have a business page and it's open to everyone, just try to say, if this were on a billboard, would I be okay with it? And if the answer is no, then maybe don't post it. If the answer is yes, then go ahead. And that's kind of one of my ways of being like fact-checking myself when I'm gonna post something. I'm like, what I do if it's being on a billboard? Because the internet is kind of a giant billboard these days. So what if I look silly? This is a big one, and this is what if I look silly? What if I don't know what I'm doing and people can tell I don't know what I'm doing? And what if I'm not good enough? That they kind of all roll into one. And so just again, these are kind of more mindsets when we're trying to overcome that social media. Trying to keep an eye on you guys. So what if I'm not, oops, no, go back. I'm sorry, guys. Like, there's no longer working. Well. Sorry, guys, technical difficulty, I'm not sure why it's not working on me. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna have to do it manually, so bear with me. So what if I look silly, what if I don't know what I'm doing? And the good news for the current trend on social media is that perfectionism is out. Being perfect and perfectly polished, having like a perfectly produced video, having a photoshopped photo, those things are not necessarily things that people are looking for. There was kind of like a backlash. Social media got to kind of, everything was an ad and everything was perfectly produced. And then people kind of got tired of always being sold to. So now kind of imperfect is back in. So if you are not great, if you do not have all of the most sophisticated cameras and that kind of thing, if you're just starting, that's okay. People don't mind seeing just a video with your phone. People don't mind seeing just a picture with your phone that was snapped. So don't worry too much about if your video quality is not top of the line. Something that you can kind of do to help yourself And is go look at old posts of someone that you follow that you think that you like their social media page. So, someone that you enjoy watching, go look at them and go look at their old stuff. Sometimes people will delete it if it's not very good, but sometimes they'll delete it and you can see, that if you're just getting started, that's a perfect place to be. You'll slowly get better. And that kind of leads into experience is the best teacher. If you're just getting into social media, if you're new or just nervous about it, you are in good company, because everyone kind of starts and everyone's kind of nervous. So experience is the best teacher, just try. Another way, if you're feeling like silly, I don't know what I'm doing, is to ask for help. A lot of us have either a partner or maybe a child who knows what all about social media, so you can always ask for their help. You can always ask for our help. We do social media management, are always happy to answer questions. So, you know, or just have someone look, just have a second set of eyes to say, is this silly? Is this good? Is this not good? And that can kind of help with our initial anxieties to get over that initial post. So what if I don't have anything to say? And this one, I get a lot from you guys and I don't think that you guys as real estate agents know, just how much of a wealth of knowledge that you are. I feel like because you guys are in it all day long, you know what you know, all the people around you seem to know all the same stuff. You don't realize that, the average Joe does not know nearly as much as you guys do. You guys are a wealth of knowledge. Even though this is a really common concern and it's a big fear, not knowing what to say, you guys have a lot of knowledge that you can share, and that's always useful for sharing on social media. One thing I say to start is, what your clients ask you. Do they ask you what to expect at closing? That's something that you can talk about on social media. Do they ask you how to pack up boxes in the most efficient way? That's something that maybe you can share on social media. So if your clients are asking you, it's generally a pretty widespread public question. So it's the kind of thing you can address that. You guys tend to have a lot of resources that you guys can share. You know, a lot of movers, lawyers, brokers, landscapers, and you can share tips from them. You can share them just as a resource. So there's a wealth of knowledge that you guys have as real estate agents that I think you always have something to say, and you're always exposed. You're always going and kind of out seeing these houses and working with clients. So that's a lot of opportunity for things to say if you just look for it.
But I think,
Oh, no, they're on Zoom. I was like, people are walking by thinking I'm just talking to an empty room. Checking on you guys every few minutes, and if you guys have any questions or want me to elaborate on anything, feel free. Like I said, I did leave some time for questions at the end, but if you guys have any that come up, let me know. I'll try to check in. Okay, so what if no one likes me? This is a big one, and this one has, I feel like, a double connotation, because we feel the pressure when we post to social media that if we don't get all those likes, then the person that we aren't liked. And there's a few mindsets that I kind of want you guys to remember when you're going into this, because a lot of my clients, they won't even start, they won't even post, because they're like, but if I post it, no one likes it, that's worse than not posting it at all. I'd rather just not post at all than post something and have no one like it. And I have a few things that I want you guys to think about when it comes to that. So for you guys, especially real estate agents, interaction is always a good thing, and having likes is always a good thing, and it's always an indication that people like what you're doing. but it is not the only indication, and it's not, if you're not getting a ton of likes, it's not necessarily to say that that it's a waste, or that people aren't enjoying it, or that, you're doing something super wrong. Because I'm sure as I do it, I'm sure you guys do it too, where you'll be scrolling and you're like, oh, I like that, or, but you don't necessarily like everything. So our goal is obviously to get interactions and to get likes, but I don't want you to be discouraged if, for some reason you're not getting a lot of them. And one thing that I hear a lot about is people talking about viral, getting all these likes and all these shares. And in your line of work, it is much better to be bingeable than to be viral. And by that, I mean, you want people, when they are interacting with your social media, to want to see more of them. You want them to say, they know so much and they're such experts, and I enjoy seeing their lives, their points of view. So you want them to want to see everything that you offer, not just share. Because if you go viral, you're not gonna be able to work with 1 million people. Really going viral, unless you're a very specific kind of product, it's not necessarily the payout that it seems like for everyone. I feel like you guys know that though. So another thing is people consume without interacting. How many times have you gone through and you're like, oh, that's good, but I'm not gonna like it. And another reason that just getting over that initial fear of what if no one likes it, but having the content there and showing up to social media, potential clients in your circle, they see you just as they're going through social media, and you just being present, and providing helpful expert knowledge, is important, not necessarily if you think the latest TikTok dance. And also potential clients, if you're just meeting someone, they're gonna go check on your social media. That's just kind of where we are now. It used to be they were gonna go check your website. And a lot of people still will go check your website, but they're definitely gonna go check your social media. So just having it up to date and having quality content that represents who you are is really what's important. It's not necessarily getting tons and tons of likes. Obviously that's awesome, but I don't want that to discourage you guys from not posting at all. And then again, ask for help. There could be some ways that you are doing everything right, but you're maybe just not captioning something right, or you have the right idea, but you just don't know how to do a reel, or you don't know how to do a carousel post, or there's something tangible and specific that you don't necessarily know how to do that will get you those likes. So asking for help, again, there's a teenager in your life, they're always a great wealth of knowledge, or we are always happy to help as well. So those are just some ways to kind of overcome that what if no one likes me feeling. It's an icky feeling, I know, but on social media more often than not, people will like you. So where do I start? And check in with you guys again. So where do I start? Now, we're gonna get a little bit more tangible, but also a little bit in some mindset things. So when we're starting, or if you're, I'm sure a lot of you all have exposure to social media, a lot of you use social media, but if you're having trouble consistently showing up on social media for your business, I know personal can be easier sometimes, or maybe not. What I would suggest if you're just needing a little coaxing for that anxiety is to start small. Don't say, I'm gonna post every day for the next month. I'm gonna post a reel every day for the next month, or I'm gonna do such and such so many times. Just take a bite that you can manage easily and comfortably, and then just start. You just gotta do it one at a time. And then once you kind of start small, I think there's a metaphor about eating an elephant one bite at a time, not trying to eat it all in one big bite, which is kind of a weird metaphor, but it's true, just slowly. And then as you get more confident, you can add a little bit more, then add a little bit more. But if you try to start too big, you're going to you're gonna, number one, you'll procrastinate, you say, oh, I'll start tomorrow, oh, I'll start tomorrow, and then you never start. Or you'll hit the ground running, and you'll be super motivated for a week or two, and then you'll run out of steam. So start small. And then also, I think something that people get caught up on is they feel like they have to use a certain medium, a certain platform, they have to do it a certain way. And with social media, you know, that's not really true. You can start with what you like, and start with what you're good at. And this is both about platforms, so if you like Facebook, use Facebook and start Facebook, gain some confidence, and then move to Instagram. If you like Instagram, then slowly start there and then build some traction there. It's also about how you enjoy communicating. So some people like to write long form. They like to write a long paragraph, and that's how they like to communicate. Some people like to share news articles and have commentary about it. Some people like to share photos, some people like to share videos. And the good news about social media is A, there's a platform for all of those things, and on almost all the platforms, there's a way that you can share in those ways. So utilize what you like and what you're comfortable with, and then you can slowly branch out and get better and better as you build your confidence. One thing that I will say, if you like writing, longer form, newsletters and LinkedIn are two awesome options for you. I know a lot of people tend to say, I don't like being on video, I don't like being behind the camera on pictures. So if writing is more your thing, those are two really good options. And a newsletter isn't fully social media, I recognize that, but it's a way kind of still to be in touch with your circle. I was gonna say, but also be looking into LinkedIn because it's trending upwards, it's coming back, which is good news for a lot of people. I feel like it's a platform that real estate agents can use very effectively. I feel like it's kind of made for you guys. So keep an eye on that. And then also start with a content calendar. And I've talked about content calendars before. And I'm just gonna do a quick content calendar lesson with you guys. If it's something that you guys are interested in learning more about, definitely you can ask some questions at the end, or call me or email me, and I'd be happy to talk through with you guys. But content calendars make things much easier, and if you're struggling with kind of that social media anxiety, they're a great actionable way to keep yourself accountable, and they're a way to have a plan and then stick to that plan. And then if you kind of do the work ahead of time, and then you can move on. So start with a content calendar, and I'm just gonna really quickly talk through a content calendar with you guys. Again, if this is something that you're interested in, feel free to reach out to me. But we create these for our clients, and we typically try not to do them too far in advance. Because you do want to kind of stay current. There, you know, things happen in social media and in just the world that you kind of want to be flexible with. So, you know, we used to think of doing content calendars like a month out. But now I typically, maybe a week or two, I do it the whole month, but I do keep it flexible in case we want to add something, in case something pop culture happens, or there's a trend or something like that. So you want to definitely keep it somewhat current. But what we do for a content calendar is, first you're gonna decide how often you want to show up on social media. And again, you're gonna start small if you're kind of getting into this. If you've been doing it for a long time, then by all means do something every day if you feel like you can do that. If you feel confident in that, I wouldn't do a full month. I would typically, if you're thinking about doing something every day, I would probably just do maybe a week, 2 weeks at a time. But most of you guys, I feel like, can be pretty effective with 1 or 2 posts. 1 or 2 posts a week. It's not necessarily something that you need to do every single day, unless that's something that you love and something that you want to do. But I feel like you wouldn't necessarily be here if that was the case. So for what you do, you say how many times you want to post. You say, I want to post 8 times this month, and I actually think I did 9, I got carried away. But if you say I want to do 8 posts this month. You know, say, and then you say what platform you wanna be on. And then you kind of break down the platforms. I wanna do this many on Instagram, this many on Facebook, and then, so even, and then you break it down even further, because on Instagram, you can do what? You can do reels, stories, single image posts, carousel posts. You have a lot of different options for what you can actually post. So you're gonna wanna break it down, and then, once you kind of know, so that we're doing 8, and I decided we'll do Instagram, and then we'll just do 2 of the main forms of posting on Instagram, 2 stories, 2 reels, 2 carousel posts, and 2 single image posts. So what you do with your calendar is you look, obviously, first of all, hard and fast dates of holidays, if you want to include holidays. Some people don't like including holidays, that's totally fine. But you want to start with hard and fast dates, the dates that you will not change, that are on the calendar, and they will not change. And then you just fill those in, and then you fill in, I go then to seasonal type things. So, tax day is coming up, so if you want to do a post on tax day, I wouldn't recommend doing it on tax day because it's kind of too late. So you are flexible with that day, you can do it a little bit before tax day. And then a market report is is a flexible seasonal type thing. Seasonal maintenance is kind of the same, and then upcoming events. So they're all kind of seasonal, they need to be around a certain time, but they can be a little flexible, so you can kind of fill them in as you want. And then we still have a few slots open, so we can add, like I said, I did 9 instead of 8, I just got carried away. So then one is a new listing, and then one is a client testimonial. Those are things that, hopefully we can always build in somewhere around there. The new listing, if you know it's coming, it might be a hard and fast date, and that's fine too. Like I said, these are totally customizable to you. And then I also included a link to the event, just easy. So then once you have it all filled in, we can say, okay, how do I want to mix up the way I'm posting? Because right now, the social media likes, if you kind of vary it, you get different interactions for different things. So then you take a look and you say, okay, well, these are the different avenues that I can use. So I have 2 single image posts there, and April Fool's Day one, and then a seasonal maintenance tips. You can just have some written content and post that as an image. Or you can always have an image of something that's going on, and then you can, in the comments, list out the maintenance tips. Instagram is, just as a tidbit, it is going more towards shorter captions, and they are liking more if you're gonna have copy, to have a copy in the image. So try to kind of shift from the longer captions to the shorter captions, but keeping content in the image. Using like Canva or us, like that. And then you're gonna, so then you can do a story of the market report. So a story of the market report, that can be several static images of just numbers, or that can be you sitting as a talking head, walking through those. And again, all of these could be different. You could do a reel for the market report, you could do a carousel post for the market report. It's all kind of what works for you and be like, it's just getting it down on paper, on a calendar, to hold yourself accountable. And then once you kind of get all of these different things, in the calendar and planned, I was just gonna make a note, screen recordings are really helpful. Not a lot of people utilize them, but I think especially for new listings, searching on your phone for your listing and then going through some photos and then using that as a screen, recording is a cool, creative kind of way to do that. And I haven't seen a lot of people that doing that, so. Again, you can reach out to me if you want to learn more about doing screen recordings. Just as a note, if you do a screen recording, it does record everything, so I would turn off notifications, don't go check your bank or anything like that. But screen recording is a cool way to kind of do a video without, if you're not quite comfortable sitting and talking to a phone yet. So that's just a little, a little tip. And then carousel posts are also a big, they are a good way to get engagement because carousel posts, I don't know if you guys know this, you probably noticed it on your feed, but if you do not engage with the first photo in the carousel post is just like 3 or 4 images on Instagram in the same post. If you don't interact with it once, it'll feed it to you again, the second photo. And if you don't interact with it, it'll feed you the third one. So it's a good way to get kind of more exposure. And if, you know, just a few photos, and also those can be used for, let's say, the carousel post for tax day that I have, you could have a list of tax resources or a list of things that you need to think about for tax day, or just different tips and tricks for tax day, and those can be one on each image of a carousel post, and that's a way to utilize that. So the good thing about, like I said, about content calendars is it gives you a plan, and you can choose to either, once you come up with your content calendar, to make all of those social media posts then and there in bulk. And it kind of gives you like a batch way to do it, or you can do them one by one, but having it right there on your calendar. It just keeps you accountable, and it gives you a plan. You don't wake up and all of a sudden it's April 13th and you haven't done any social media, and you're like, I have to do 8 social media posts this month and they're all gonna be cramped and crowded. It just kind of takes the pressure off, and it allows you to have a big picture scope. So anything that gives you an actionable plan, I feel like helps with some of those jitters as far as social media. Okay, so now that we have kind of a shift of mindset as far as our social media anxiety and how we're gonna show up for social media, and then we have that actionable content calendar that we can create and hold ourselves to, what next? So you have to start to finish. And this is kind of true of anything. If, you know, if you're having trouble with social media, just try it. The good thing, if you record a video of yourself and you don't like it, you can delete it. And you don't have to post on social media, but just practicing, interacting on social media, starting small. Start by commenting on social media, other people's social media things. And then once you're kind of more comfortable showing up that way, then you can practice posting photos of what's going on around you. And then you can start practicing maybe including yourself in photos, and then maybe you can practice some videos. So you have to start to finish. There's really no way to just wake up and have the experience. Although I sometimes feel like the way my 9-year-old uses technology, she probably could just wake up and know how to post on social media. But for the rest of us, you have to start to finish, you gotta practice. Experience really is the best teacher. And the more that you experience it, the more confident that you're gonna get. Unfortunately, we have to be a little uncomfortable at first to get more comfortable in the end. And then something else that you can do, watch yourself. So if you do a video or you do a photo, like you gotta watch, it's more to videos, but if you make a video of yourself, I know a lot of people are like, I made it and I posted it and I never looked at it again. And that's fine, but then you don't know how to get better, right? You just kind of keep making the same video over and over and over. But if you kind of watch yourself, you can say, oh, I did that and that didn't work, or I didn't like that. So as uncomfortable as it might be, I've done it and I don't love it, but it is a great way. It does help get better. Or you can have, again, a partner, a friend, someone else watch it and give you some feedback. And then finally, just to be kind to yourself. Social media is ever evolving, and it's a very vulnerable place to be, showing up and having people be a part of your lives. So be kind to yourself. No one, again, other than maybe my 9-year-old, and maybe your kids are the same way, is born knowing how to do this. So just take it slow and take it one day at a time and be kind to yourself. And so I left some time for questions. I know you guys are are on the chat, so if you have any questions, definitely let me know. If not, or if you have any questions and you don't necessarily want to ask on the chat, I will. Oh, I keep messing it up when I do. Go to share. So I apologize, I'm gonna put my contact information up there, maybe. Um, I will find a way to get you guys my contact information, but you are welcome to email or text or call. And we would be happy to chat with you about them. Where can they see the recording? I will get with Jessica, and she can probably provide that for you.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I was late to the Zoom, so I unfortunately missed it. But if I can see the recording, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely, and I will also provide Jessica with my PowerPoint.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Like I said, I'm trying. For some reason, when every now and then it'll not, oh, there we go. I can give you. There we go. Oh, no, one more. Okay, so if there's my contact information, if you want to email or send a message online or call or text, however you would like to get in touch with us, you are welcome to do that. And I will make sure that Jessica has this PowerPoint. So thanks guys for tuning in. If there's no other questions, I can show you. Thank you, thank you. You're very welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you.